show of support from Terry Butcher to keep this backline unchanged. With the return from suspension of Mark Milligan, who could have slotted anywhere into that backline. Ruben Zakovic, who was probably the player most likely to make waves, kept his spot. Now, you and I were at that game against Queensland Roar last weekend, and they did perform splendidly, that Sydney FC defence. Here's Middleby. Carney with some heavy traffic. Here is Zakovic on the ball. Top ball, Stanley, headed across the face of goal. Kovic is nowhere, it's gone in! Alex Brosk has scored again. Sydney FC take the lead in the minor semi-final. And some big questions being asked in that Newcastle Jets defence.
Well, not just questions, Mike. They've got to start a royal commission. What was Ante Kovic doing on his goal line? An innocuous chance. There's plenty of time with the height on that cross to readjust. Broska's outlet too, and Kovic too slow off his line. And Alex Brosk, his fourth goal of the season, all have come in the last 5 games, 6 including this one. Well, may you shout, Terry Butcher.
Bridge. Dwelled on it too long, Mark Bridge. His pocket was picked by the hard-working Robbie Middleby. Carney has swapped sides. Space here for Brosk. He's got past his man. Fires just over the goal. This is a striker in a rich vein of form.
Well, the clock's ticking on Newcastle with Brosk.
Carney. Corica, delightful ball in from Corica. It's 2-0 Sydney FC. Terry Butcher is thrilled to bits, and it was Mark Milligan with the finishing touch. It's a soft setup in defence for the Newcastle Jets.
Well, they're gold shirts out there for Newcastle, but you couldn't mistake them for Caramello Bears. They've opened up completely. This is beautiful football from Sydney. What an impressive opening half hour. Look at this pass from Steve Corica. There's no pressure on him, point 1. He can pick his spot, point 2. No one tracks Mark Milligan, point 3. The header is fantastic. It's 2-0.
It's now officially a salvage operation for the Newcastle Jets. Sydney FC have doubled their advantage, just half an hour gone in the first leg of the minor semi-final. North scampering across there. Thompson. Eddie Thompson has really struggled to make an imprint on this match. And here he is in trouble again, just out-muscled, outnumbered. Brosk can make it 3. Alex Brosk. Kovic with the save. He needed to pull it off.
Good chance, same story. 3 versus 1 on Matt Thompson. He coughed it up.
Another chance for Sydney. It's a shooting gallery in front of Ante Kovic for the moment. Ocon. Got the run from Carl. Didn't have a lot of options. Good movement here from Newcastle. The shot, at least, was on target. It came from Tim Brown. Eagleton. Tracking back. There's Middleby. And Sydney have conceded the corner.
It's a different game already. And Carl free of the shackles. Newcastle can click into rhythm. They're not a one-man team by any means, but it just speaks of his importance to the team.
Corner's been played short. Griffiths at the near post. The shot was a rasping one, and Bolton, who's done absolutely everything right tonight, rises to that occasion. Carl again in space. They really haven't regrouped tactically at the moment, Sydney. Again. Wriggles past Milligan. He's done ever so well. Bridge with a shot. Well, that's just gone wide from Mark Bridge, but in his first 5 minutes of this second half, it's a different Newcastle team.
Yeah, they're a much different team.
Those Newcastle fans have done their bit to lift the team in the second half. 21,122. It is the biggest crowd we've seen in at the Aussie Stadium this season. At the moment, it's the supporters wearing the sky blue who are enjoying themselves the most, but those Newcastle fans try to lift their team. It's been a hard road to hoe being a Newcastle fan over a long period of time. Of course, the cradle of football in Australia in many ways. 26 seasons in the old NSL, they never won a championship. Petrovski, dangerous ball in, and Eddie Thompson in all sorts of trouble. Here's Carney. Petrovski blazes over the top. Sasho Petrovski, and Terry Butcher has his head in his hands.
They could have done with that, Sydney too. Butcher knows it.
Well, they have conceded the most fouls of any team. They've had the most red cards and the most yellow cards, Sydney FC. So they certainly have fallen foul of referees this season. And that has aggravated, as you mentioned, what is a very thin squad at the disposal of Terry Butcher. Eagleton comes away with the ball. Comes inside. Steve Eagleton tried to write his own headline there. 20 minutes on the clock here at Aussie Stadium, and it's still that half-time scoreline. Sydney 2, Newcastle 0. Champions giving a good account of themselves. Newcastle making a good comeback in this second half, but as yet they haven't anything to show for it, but they have now! And who else but Milton Rodriguez? Doesn't he love scoring at this ground? And that is a massive lifeline for the Newcastle Jets.
Now here's quality with a big, fat, capital Q. Milton Rodriguez. He turned on a dime and he smashed it home, and the away goal could count in the end. Look at the twinkle toe effort, and thrashes the ball past Bolton's hand into the near post. Fife is left clutching at straws. Rodriguez is it? 2-1.
Pure class from the Colombian Milton Rodriguez. Brown, Thompson, Rodriguez squares it up. Nicky Carl. That's a handball by David Carney. The Newcastle players appeal it. There's been a slip at the other end, and that's been ruled a foul by Alex Brosk. David Carney, his heart was in his mouth.